All right. Record. All right. Well, welcome everyone to our monthly team meeting. Happens every Tuesday, first of the month. Usually it's in the evening, so this is super early for us, but we're excited because we have a couple guest speakers with us this morning, and I will introduce them in just a minute. If you're joining us live or on the replay, just comment below where you're from. If you guys have a chat group, you can go find the chat group because it's always great to ask questions. I see a new face on here, Lorraine. Welcome. I want to say, comment below where you are from and what brings you joy. So if you can find your chat button down below, just find in one word, what brings you joy. Brings me joy when I see new faces here. I got so excited. So thank you. I want to welcome any new members this month. And in case you don't know who I am, I'm Rena Ross, Senior Executive Sales Leader of the Be Green team. And first of all, you guys rocked it in October. It was a really strong month. I challenged you guys to 75 parties and you nailed out 76. So awesome. And I said I would match $1 for every one of those for breast cancer awareness, the same lines of what Norwex was doing. But I just love that we met our goal. So that was cool. We had 83 engaged consultants this month, which was really good. And I think it was close to $60,000 in group sales that we sold. And that is really good for our team. So congratulations, team. You really did rock it. Okay, so I don't know who's starting first and who I'm going to turn it over to, but we are privileged this morning to, okay, gotcha. We're privileged this morning to have a couple of people from Norwex right here with us. One is on leadership development and one is your regional sales manager. And what I like about these ladies is that you can connect with them anytime one-on-one, like whoever they are for your area, but they offer such good knowledge. Like there's lots of things in the resource. And if you haven't been there checking it out, you should go there. But there's nothing better than having this one-on-one connection with them to further develop your business. But we thought, let's spread out and share it with the entire team and learn what they will do to bring the best to our business. So thank you all for being here today. And I'm going to just turn it over to Kathy, who then can turn it over to Melissa. And you guys can do your introductions all on your own. How's that sound?
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Rena and Kaylee, and all of your organizations for joining us today. We're so pleased to be part of your journey in November and December, my favorite 2 months of the year. It's such a time of giving, and with Norwex, I mean, Norwex gives every day, but today is a day for us to give to each other. And, myself and Melissa, I'm your National Manager of Leadership Development, which really talks about my journey to support you in your growth in your business. And Melissa does the exact same thing as your regional sales manager. So Melissa Crisanti is going to join in, and I'm going to have her share some of the tidbits of these slides that we're going to share with you. That's going to really honor the holiday selling season and partner with the Norwex initiatives, promotions. What's in it for you as the consultant, what's in it for the host who books a party with you, and what it is in it for the customer month after month. So I'm going to share my screen. And for those of you who are on the Zoom with us, thank you for being here. I'm going to definitely save 10 minutes at the end, so we have time for conversation. And we're going to get started right into sharing some goodness and celebrate what we have to offer at Norwex for the month of November. But most importantly, I kind of want to journey with all of you in the sense that we together, oops, I lost you all. Let me just do something. One moment.
Kathy, I seriously have been having difficulty with multiple screens, so.
That's okay. This is kind of weird. Oh, I know why. Sorry. Lovely connections here. Let me there we are. Perfect. Oh, maybe not. It's doing it again on me. One moment. I think it's because I have two. This is why I have two computers going. So bear with me.
There we have it.
There we go.
It's perfect.
Is it one screen?
It was.
No, I'm actually going to move it over. One moment. I'm going to end my show. I'm going to move this over. We're going to make this happen.
I'm always glad it's just not me that has those techie issues.
Rena, I
have a desktop going on here. Perfect. Here we are. Lovely. It's because I had my computer and my desktop, and one of them was open and the other one was closed. So here we are. Perfect. So back to all of you. Both Melissa and I today are really excited to journey with you through November and December, like I was sharing. And, you know, my background comes from years of the sales industry. And, you know, from a very young age, I learned how to maximize as a business owner, as a manager, as a leader, as an entrepreneur in this business, how we are to not only take what we have with Norwex and partner it with our personality, then partner with what's available from Norwex as a brand. So you're kind of branding you and branding Norwex together to celebrate a healthy business to get you started for 2022, but to journey and have a lot of fun. This is your time to have fun in the next 2 months. Nothing should be stressful. Norwex is a simple business, and we want to make sure that you know how simple it is by just sharing some really great, I'm going to say fun facts, you know, words to kind of think about and to use in your scripting for the next few months, as well as how to celebrate your customers and follow up in a way that is really genuine to who you are, but most importantly, understanding who they are. So I'm going to start off by first just setting you up for the nature of the selling season. I want you to think, what's my method? And ask yourself this question: what is my method of an enjoyable shopping experience for my customers? Like, what is my method? How am I going to celebrate them? How am I going to celebrate Norwex? And how am I going to really partner to make sure that my business aligns with my why and defines my purpose? So there's so many methods of how to do the business. I mean, Raina, Kaylee, and many of you who I've not yet met are brilliant in this business, and they themselves as leaders, I know, do these already, but I want to remind everybody, in case you'd forgotten, there's a few things that you need to put into mind before you just dive right into November, December. You know, really think about your social media activities, what you have planned, block them out, place them in your calendar, whether they're reoccurring on a specific day. Really target how you're actually journeying and presenting yourself on social media, so that it's a story. You're the director of your story. So you want to be storytelling, and you want that customer who follows you on Facebook and then follows you on Instagram, for example, kind of see your journey of your story. So I want you to really think, one of my methods is gift guides and catalogs. You know, someone said to me, Kathy, what's a gift guide? To me, it's literally our fabulous this small little booklet of holiday that literally, if you were to place this in front of me as a consumer, I would be so excited about the beauty of the aesthetics of this, but most importantly, what's new in products. So make sure that you have a method to how you're sharing these, whether it be online, posting it in your VIP group, posting it on your Facebook page, your Instagram, and also making sure you're handing them out to people, having them in your bag available to hand out. You know, are you planned with giveaways in your group pages for the next 2 months? Like, what are those giveaways? Think ahead. What do I have in stock? What do I don't have to spend money on? What do I have currently in my Norwex inventory, as well as stuff that you've collected? Promotional emails. Take advantage of what Norwex offers you and make sure that your customer knows what's on sale this month. I know you went through that with Raina and Kaylee possibly already, because we are the 2nd of November. It's all available in the Norwex resources, but you really want to be ahead of yourself. What's available in discounts? What kind of themes am I actually partying with the next 2 months? You know, where, in what platforms? Like, creating themes for, whether it be the 12 days of holiday or the 12 days of Christmas, whatever you want to call it, have themes within your parties for the next 2 months. And if you've never done a party theme, think about Wine Wednesdays. Think about Tea on Tuesdays. Think about, you know, whatever. I mean, I can go on. I need some more coffee, I think. But reality is, you really want to think of themes that relate to your customer and who it is that your audience is. And then really maximize, due to COVID and the pandemic, curbside pickup and drop off, and maybe having a gentle way that you can do that without even touch, or even actually standing next to someone. Maybe there's a little gentle messaging in a box outside of your front porch, or somehow that you really can partner in supporting your customer's shopping experience for the holiday season. So these are kind of ones that I know you all do, but if you haven't done some of them, you may want to try something new this season and add value to how you've done it in the holiday last season. What are you thinking, Raina?
Nothing. It's all good. Sounds really good.
Good,
It's,
chime in anytime. I'm happy to have you jump in for sure.
no, these are all really good ideas. Sometimes it's the challenge is to narrow it down.
I know. So what you want to do is pick three,
Mhm.
right? Pick three that stands out most to you. I love that. And then also just some dates, I always love to know how to celebrate the month as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. These are some dates that are actually available to all of us to really think about what dates do I really not want to forget about that may not be important to me, but they're important to my business opportunity. November 25th, Thanksgiving, holidays in full swing by that time. November 26th, Black Friday. Believe it or not, there was a 663% increase year after year compared to an ordinary day. So you really want to take advantage of our Black Friday sale, which I know is on the resources at the moment. A fabulous sale. I think there's like 9 products or 12, I can't recall. And then also Cyber Monday. That's an e-commerce day. That is your day for this business. We are obviously an e-commerce business. You want to take advantage of that. That again is really celebrating the online world. And I know of people who literally gather in their homes with family and they have a cyber shopping day. They literally plan it like a football game that they're all going to be watching, but instead they're all shopping together as family members. It's a great day. So make sure you mark that down and celebrate that. December 15th, Norwex Christmas delivery cutoff date. We all know of that date. So you really want to get, going now and making sure that you get all of what your clients want, your customers, in time for holiday. And so that it arrives in time. December 18th, that day, years ago, I remember we used to celebrate Super Saturday, and I always said, well, why is it December 18th? It literally is the day within the month of December where people are thinking whether they celebrate Christmas. Every nationality has something we celebrate. And we want to really maximize on that middle of the month, 18th being that date of where everyone's thinking, okay, what brands do I love that actually have their discounts available? They're discounted in products and sales. What gift ideas do you have available? And are they ready to prepare with shopping experiences with gift baskets or gift bags, sort of like our mystery bags that we have happening right now again for the month of November that we've carried from October, and we've discounted by $10, which are amazing. So you kind of want to take advantage of the December 18th. That is mid-month. Think of yourself as a consumer. By December 18th, you're starting to stress out. You're thinking, who did I not buy something for yet? And as a business owner, you're thinking, oh my goodness, who have I not followed up with? Who purchased from me last year? And then December 24th, last chance. Ideas and offers special to Norwex. You really got to maximize on that. And December 26th, personal shopping day. This is the day there has been a consistent increase in sales on December 26th due to the fact that a lot of people, based on their personal budgets, have not actually purchased Christmas or holiday gifts for people. They actually wait for the 26th where everything is already on sale, and they hope that the things they wanted were available to them still to purchase. And then lastly, before the year ends, people still want to get their dreams and desires met. So they kind of look for what they wanted that they couldn't afford, and they maybe received gift cards or money to purchase what they most desire for the rest of the year. So December 31st, it may be, New Year's Eve, but it's a day for shopping. So put that down, put in a few hours that day to really, really reach out to customers, follow up, and kind of look back at who actually shopped with you on that day last year, if you were around at Norwex. So a few little dates for you. I was going to call you Raina, and Kelly and team to really maximize on. And, these are, as a business owner and as a business coach for many, many years in the sales industry, these 2 slides are so important. And I'm going to make sure that I get those to you, both Raina and Kaylee, so you have them, so you don't have to write them all out, and you can share them with your teams.
I screenshotted them. I got them.
Well, I want you to feel like you're prepared for November and December. Okay, so that's why I put this down for you. And then we're going to kind of slowly move into what's going on within the Canadian industry, like what's happening statistically. You know, 60% of Canadians, some of you have heard me say this already, are actually looking for a side hustle. For those of you who are wondering, you know, I don't know who else to reach out to. Well, you know what? 60% of the people that you know, if not more, are looking for a side gig. They're looking for supplementary income, and our Canadian friends and family are possibly too shy to say it, but they actually are hoping that someone will just ask them or reach out and say, hey, you know, Dora, I have heard that you are wanting to make your way to Hawaii as a family trip, and it's been a goal of yours for 3 years. I want to help you make that happen. I want to share with you how you can make extra income to actually add value and get your family on that trip. So these are a few stats for you. Like 31% of these Canadians have pursued opportunities to make extra money during the pandemic. Most people are picking up a second job, and most are under 29 years old. Average user spends 145 minutes a day on social media. That's a big number. So where are they spending it? Hopefully with us. And then 66% of these consumers are actually millennials from ages 29 to 40 who are looking to pay for products. Not only purchase products that are of sustainability, but also they're willing to pay for it. They're willing to pay for premium price for products that that actually follow their belief system and their value system. So you really want to target also that customer if they're not your customer. And then one thing that's huge, Norwex has a high product loyalty. Everyone who purchases a Norwex product purchases a second one and a third and a fourth, and they actually replenish. They love the products. There's a very low return rate with Norwex, very low. And as you know, our beautiful mop system is now a 5-year warranty, which actually lends the promise of Norwex being that brand who believes in you making a great purchase, and we support you for 5 years of that purchase, which is unbelievable, right? Where our opportunity lies really is our brand awareness. So social media wise, I want you to think about what can I add to my branding of Norwex and myself, my business as a brand for November and December that will actually put Norwex in the household of everyone in Canada and in the US. Like what is it that I can do uniquely and differently? So start placing those ideas. Maybe it's a brainstorming. Actually, Kaylee, with you, Raina, and your teams to do that. So these are all kind of food for thought, words to add value to what it is that you have to say. I'm actually going to pass this on to my lovely Melissa. She's an expert in social media, and I'm going to get her to share with you our journey and our knowledge here of social media in time for November, December.
Wonderful, thank you, and good morning, everybody. This information on this slide is so great, and it looks so simple, and it really is, but it's a matter of actually utilizing this information and utilizing this as somewhat of a strategy in your social media. So on your personal page, of course, we want to see 85% of lifestyle. And what does that mean? It means that we want to actually learn about you. And when you think about it, when you are going through social media and looking at people's accounts and you're looking at their personal pages, it's really nice to be able to see kind of their life progress and what's going on in their life. Are they married? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? You know, are they vacationing, or are they walkers, runners, so on? And there's so much that you can learn about somebody. This doesn't mean that everybody has to know the ins and outs of your life, but what you enjoy doing, whether it's, you know, you're a foodie and you like brunching and stuff like that. And so just share who you are with your audience. And then 15%, so 85% is your lifestyle. And then 15% is business. And what does that mean? It means that you could be doing, you know, posting specials or product. What's really nice is tying that in really to your lifestyle. So, you know, do you have a baby, a grandchild, a pet? You know, are you wiping up with a Norwex cloth? And maybe just capturing a picture of that, or, you know, cleaning your car or something. But you can really tie that in beautifully with the lifestyle posts. And then on your VIP group, of course, 75% of that is business. So I think before and afters are really key in a VIP group. People want to see that. It really piques interest, and it's a way to be like, oh my goodness, I want to try that. And then of course, 25% lifestyle. And the reason for that is, even though you are on a business page, there are, it's really nice to get to learn about somebody and know a little bit more about them. It's just like when you're looking through a catalog, they always have, it's like they'll have all the products, but then they have like little sidebar articles or pictures, and it's really to keep the interest going in the consumer. And so that's why even on your VIP page, it's nice to sprinkle in some lifestyle posts. Do you have anything to add to that, Kathy?
No, I love that. And I've been learning along the way, and Melissa, I'm not sure you were with this leader group where one of the leaders took for the VIP group, we really brainstormed about that. So if you have a VIP group, she took the 75% of Norwex business and she really she placed those in 3 categories of 25%. So 25%, so out of the 75, one of the 25% was specific to demoing in our VIP group.
Wonderful.
Another 25 was specific to what's in it for them that month on sale. And then another 25 was kind of, she called it like her Q&A, open discussion, engagement posts. So you can take that 75 and define that, kind of like what we were sharing earlier about really brand your story for the month of November, December, have a strategy in mind. For those of you who are not only on the Zoom, but also listening in later, I want you to kind of take the time someday to really, really look at someone that is in this industry on Instagram specifically, and you kind of like how the rhythm of their Instagram storytelling, and you're attracted to it, and you're really excited about what it is that they have to offer, what they have to say, and kind of emulate. Like, you can do the exact same thing. Like, you just need to be kind of inspired by someone. So choose that person, find out who that person is, look for that person if you don't know who that is. There's loads on Norwex. I mean, Kaylee's doing a great job. I follow her, and she's really putting a lot of effort in what she's doing on her balancing with social media. And I think, each of you have a gift. And so find out who inspires you and kind of you do a few of the things that they do and add value to your social media presence. So for November, December, if I were you, I would literally block out 3 days of every week for the 8 weeks that you're literally posting social media posts. But have a method to your madness. Just don't post randomly based on what kind of mood you are in that day. You kind of need to have a system because you're a director of a story and you're going to storytell. So I loved, first of all, I believe it was Ashley Morgan that shared that she broke it down into 25, 25, 25. Another leader with Norwex, to be strategic in her VIP group, and she does a great job with that. So we're going to keep marrying on, and let's talk about parties, Melissa. How about you share your insight to this one? I love it.
Absolutely. Now, with booking parties, I think, we always talk about having extra tools in your toolbox. And while, you might feel most comfortable with, let's say, a Messenger or Facebook party, that may not be necessarily what your host is comfortable with. And, we always say, what's in it for me? And you really want to understand what is in it for that host and what are they most comfortable with. So with a Messenger or a Facebook party, I think it's so imperative that you are well versed in one of those. Quite honestly, I think it would be great if you were well versed in all of them and could, off the cuff, be able to host any type of party in any platform. But really having one or two. So if you are high touch, right, you want to either Zoom or in person if possible. And that is really more personal. You can really see faces and have conversation, which is lovely. Second best to in person. With the Messenger or Facebook, those take time. And, I've understood talking to several consultants that, you kind of have to muddle your way through it and you figure out what works best for you. But being well versed in those, my recommendation is that you are really strong on one of either Messenger or Facebook, and then of course Zoom or in person. You really want to have enough tools in your toolbox. So when you're having a conversation with somebody, asking them to host a party, and you start with, let's say you're really strong with messenger parties. You bring that up and you can see they're a little hesitant, they don't really know. Well, offer them something else. It's the same type of thing when you're selling. It's like if they, aren't overly interested in this product, you can make a recommendation for another. And it's the same thing when asking to host.
Those are great options. And
Mhm.
it might sound overwhelming, but really it's the same party that you present. It's just in a different format.
Exactly.
Mhm. Yeah,
Exactly.
and depending on what it is too, it could be less time,
Mhm.
obviously. So if you're someone that's, it's timing is everything. And if you're like, I don't want to do like a 3 to 5 day Zoom Facebook party,
Yeah.
you definitely want to consider Zoom, which is like an hour, kind of like what we're doing now. This could be a party in itself.
Yeah.
So just so you know, at the end, I'm going to ask you all what you're treating yourself to today.
That's a great
So
one.
it is a great line. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but I love that. I really like that Melissa kind of brought you through the story of, what is your party style? I want you to really ask yourself that question. And she challenged you to maybe be a master of all four, but in the meantime, even two, one high tech, one high touch. So if I send any challenge out there, that is going to be it for November and December. If you've only done Facebook, I want you to at least try Zoom. Okay, because those who are doing Zoom parties, there's a few leaders who've been doing them, and one actually, she wasn't even a leader yet. She was sharing that yet because she's going to be, how her first Zoom party was over $1,000. So, I would think, like, if I were to, Melissa, if you and I were consultants today, like, let's just shut it out there. What would your party style be?
I would do Zoom.
See, me too.
Yeah.
I would totally be a Zoom party person because I love the interaction of visual eye contact. I can see your expression. I can see your energy. I can assume your positive energy if I were in a room with you. And if anything, that engagement is there, like face to face, right? But I would definitely dig into messenger parties too, which I know are very successful right now. So really play with that. Don't only do one style, because you're more than one style, right? You're a chameleon in this business. You need to really, really, really target at least one of each in time for November, December. This page here, why party with me? We all ask ourselves that question as a consultant, like why would people want to party with me? They probably want to party with you because they want to have fun. They want to help you as a friend. They want free products. Well, why won't they want to party with you? They're unsure possibly if they host, if their friends will see the value in attending. The party was possibly too long from what they've experienced in another party, maybe from another brand, and no one actually asked them to party. No one actually asked them to party is a huge one. And we've heard it again and again, but reality is our Frankie list of how many names we have on that list, we should never assume that no one wants to party or host in the month of November, because everyone is slightly fearful of being in large malls and spaces with too many people in it. So let's assume and just ask everybody on that list. And the people who you're most fearful of asking are the ones you should target first. I challenge you to do that. And I'm sure you've heard many, many people often say, well, I've not been asked. And you know what's interesting? How many of you, show of hands, have not been invited to a party in the month of October by another brand?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first month I've not been invited to a party. And I'm typically invited to at least, a good 8 to 10 a month from multiple brands, multiple people outside of Norwex as well. It was the first month nobody asked me. And I'm like, I wonder why. Other than being invited through Norwex, all of you sometimes invite me in, and I love to be part of the party because I learn from you. But most importantly, I want to also provide suggestions if I have any. But the interesting thing is we need to start asking, because the average, what did they say? Canadians right now are spending at least, they're attending at least 1 to 2 parties a month on average right now in Canada in the past 6 months. So that's a lot of partying. And so we need to ask if you'd like to join me for a party. Melissa, this is a new slide you wouldn't have seen yet. Melissa and I haven't even had an opportunity to go through this, so she's just rolling with it. I totally give you a high five. We've just been running. I wanted to add value in all of you knowing and recognizing and really celebrating your customers, but understanding how they purchase. So there are typical buyers, and I kind of personalize this to Canada. So any of our US friends on there, it definitely relates because North America is one big happy family. But these are definite trends in terms of the type of buyers that you have in a party. So I want you to think about maybe the last party you had. And if you haven't used a system like this before, I want you to try it at your next party. I want you to recognize different buyers so that you can actually potentially have everyone in your party purchase something, if not 1 to 3 items at every party. So an impulsive buyer is someone who buys based on trend. They buy based on popularity. They want instant gratification. This buyer is afraid that it'll sell out really quickly and wants to be in the know and wants it now before anyone else. Kind of like our dryer balls, like our fluff. What are they called? Fluff and dryer balls? Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, who didn't want those little sheep, right? I would have been one of those people. Like, I would have bought it impulsively because I want to make sure that I get it before it's gone. So that's an impulsive buyer. So how you recognize that in a party is I would be that person at the party that would go, oh my goodness, those are so cute. I have to have those, right? In a comment, I hit like, I maybe said it out loud in a Zoom party, whatever. That's an impulsive buyer. So my response would be to someone who's an impulsive buyer is at the end of it, I would say, hey, Raina, I know you love those. How many would you like? How many you like, and who do you want to buy it for additionally, right? Because that impulsive buyer wants to buy it for themselves, but they often want to treat someone else to what they love most. The emotional buyer, they are those individuals who are, they purchase based on memories, emotions, like memories, experiences with someone dear to them that possibly that resonates with them. They appreciate any and all attention. They're very emotional, they're soft-hearted, they cry at all commercials, and they will often buy based on what they like, but also what they have a personal connection with. So for example, you know, a lot of people say to me, oh my goodness, the mop system. My grandmother used to have like a mop years and years ago that was not the traditional like fabric mop, but she had something similar to that. And I don't know what it was called, but it so reminds me of her. I wish she was here so that I could purchase this for her. It would have made her life easy, right? So they're the emotional buyer and they will comment things that relate to memory and desire. And then there's these third-party buyers. They often love what others love and they want what others love. They love the ideas of maybe another person at a party. And even the purchase plan that that person has in mind to buy that day. They love a second opinion. They love sharing and they love to hear the ideas of other people other than the person who is actually the consultant or the host of the party. It would be like, you know, I kind of connected with Raina because I love her display in the back at her home. And I loved her personality based on how she commented or hit or liked or even shared in a Zoom party or a messenger. And more than likely, because I kind of want to be Raina's friend, I may actually purchase what Raina's buying just because Raina's buying it.
Third party.
Right? That's a third part because I'm not confident in my purchase power. I'm not confident in what it is that I want, but I believe what other people believe. So those are others that you need to really look at. They may be the quiet ones in your party, but they actually are waiting for someone to share an idea that will just spark an interest and go, yes, I want that too. And so that's why throughout your party, and I've done parties with other brands and I've lived it like you have, I want you to always place on a piece of paper next to your, wherever you're doing your party, you know, if your party is not too large and you can literally put the names of everybody on a sheet of paper and no one's going to see your sheet of paper but you, especially on a Zoom. You wouldn't want to do this in person. But on a Zoom, and I would put Raina. Raina's probably going to be my impulsive buyer. Sylvia's probably going to be my third party buyer. And I think Kaylee's going to be my emotional buyer. And I'll just put an E, an I, and a T, right? And so at the end of it, throughout my night, I'm also going to go, oh yeah, Kaylee's going to definitely host a party for me. And I know Raina's going to join my team. And I for sure know Melissa is going to buy everything that I tell her she's going to treat herself to. Right? So you want to add that confidence and that belief system in yourself so that you influence the power of the success of your party. So this is kind of food for thought. You can play with that. And I know Kaylee well enough to know, and Raina, that they both are going to run with this. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Perfect. So that is, again, if you don't come from a selling background, if you don't have this background in understanding how to read people, you don't need to at Norwex. We're here to help you understand who your customer is, who your audience is. I would love, Melissa. Sorry, go ahead, Raina.
Is there not one other type of buyer where if it's on sale, I'm buying it? Doesn't even matter what it is. If it's on sale, it's a sale.
Yeah, you know what? They're often
Maybe.
they're impulse buyers, but they also they're direct buyers. Like they just automatically, if it's on sale, regardless of what the product is, they're going to buy it because it's on sale. So there is one more, and it's called direct. It's like my father. If there's paper towel on sale, regardless if he has 100 in the basement, he's still buying another 100. Right? And that is my father. I'm not kidding you. If something ever went down, you can all go to his basement because everything is there. Hundreds of cans of tomato soup, hundreds of paper towel and toilet paper. And I'm trying to get him away from Windex, but he still carries his Windex, but that's a whole other day. That's a whole other story. So Melissa, do you mind sharing the top selling approaches? These are ones that I want us to remind ourselves of what you can do during the selling season.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things before I dive into this, I really want to discuss how there are different levels of communication and the impact that it has. So first and foremost, best method of communication would be person to person. So even like this virtually, being able to talk to a person and see their expression in their face, because we are able to change our approach based on body language we're receiving from the other person. The next is being able to hear their voice. So with text messaging, voice notes, and so on is the second best. And then the third, of course, is text messages written. One of the reasons why this is difficult for a lot of people, of course, is because tone does not come through written unless you are an exceptional writer. You know, often in a quick message, people won't get that. So those are the three levels. So when we're talking about selling at a Norwex party, we've got 4 different platforms that we had discussed. We've got Facebook, Messenger, Zoom, and in person. So think about those different levels and how, when you're doing those parties, how are you going to, what strategy are you going to set in place for each to ensure that, you know, what you want to come through comes through. The great thing is that you can post videos and so on. So that's always great when you're doing Messenger. Selling by phone, you know, this is an interesting one because I feel like these days people don't answer their phone. But with text and voice message, I think voice message is your second best. Being able to, they can hear the enthusiasm in your voice, and that is paramount in this business, because I can be like, this is a great product, exclamation point. But it's like, are they getting what I'm saying? Right? But on a message, you're like, this is a great product. I want to talk to you about it. And of course, you can do the same on a phone call. Now, selling through the use of client files. Boomers, yes, and older love phone and personal contact, yes. You know, Kaylee, I try phoning my nephews, and it is very rare that they actually ever answer the phone, but people, you know, my age and so on, definitely will pick up the phone. And I personally love that. Now, when we're looking at, you know, the use of client files, I recommend always being very, keeping your files up to date and being very organized with all of that. And the reason I say that is because you can be really strategic with that. When you know who your buyers are, what typically they're buying, and if you know anything about them, when there is a sale, you know, let's say you talked to them 2 weeks ago. I talked to somebody 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden something comes up and they're like, hey, I know I talked to you 2 weeks ago, but let's have a conversation because there's a big sale going on. I didn't want you to miss out. So really being strategic and knowing those buyers and knowing their habits is a really great way to use your files to be able to follow up with them based on what's happening with Norwex.
So you have written down there, written or in the back office, you're saying just basically have some sort of system like a Scribbler notebook or a spreadsheet. And is that what you're referring to?
Absolutely. So, you can go into back office and you can take a look at your customers and their purchasing history and what they've bought. Depending if you're doing a lot of bulk orders, though, you won't know specifically who's ordering what. So I recommend always, I'm a big fan of spreadsheets. So having a master list and just, you have kind of what they've bought in the past and you can say when you want to follow up with them. And it's a great way. But if written is, how you prefer to do it, just having a method that you will actually use and go back to, because I could say, hey, use a spreadsheet, but you're like, I don't really want to. So something that you will use. So if that is in a notebook or on sticky somewhere, just something that can keep you kind of organized with that.
Mm-hmm. Melissa, I just want to add a little bit of insight to this too. Through my experience in working with like top leaders in this industry, they always had a written document of like just a one pager of like their top 25, 50 customers who are their elite customers. And they track and they follow up regardless of what's going on in their life and their business, these individuals at least every 3 months minimum, to just check in with them, even to say hello. They're your consumer lifers. They're your customer for life, and I call them your elites. And you may send them special little things here and there throughout your year of things you have sitting there, kind of like, like I have things sitting around that I just gift throughout the year that I've purchased that I know, and then I put my sister's name Brenda on it, or Judy or Donnelly or my friend Melissa. Like those customers need to be treated like elite status. And so they're kind of like you're in your VIP group, but they're also like a level up to that VIP group. And so that they're going to purchase from you for holiday. And because you have a small list of up to 50, let's say, that these people, exactly what they purchased. You probably don't even have to go back in your office to look. And you will then know what's going on month to month to go, oh, I need to reach out to Kaylee. She loves anything about our laundry items. And there's a new product. We need to get that in her hands, right? So I just wanted to, that's a little strategy. If you're newer to the business, maybe it's your top 10 customers. And then if you've journeyed a little longer, like Raina and Kaylee, they can come up with at least 25, 50. I'm sure of it. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I had to jump in and share that because that's a good one.
Yeah, no problem at all. Now, show of hands, how many of you do like trade shows and vendor events? Okay, quite a few. This is a great way to have foot traffic. They are people, because a lot of times I hear that people are like, I feel like I'm kind of running out of a network, and you always feel like you're going back to the same people and so on. Being in a place where you have foot traffic, so being able to do a trade show or do a vendor event, those are all great ways to meet new people. And there are a lot of vendor events that are offered online now too. So you do have that opportunity to have, virtual foot traffic coming through so that you can meet new people, have conversations with new people, whether it leads to them hosting a party or, becoming a new customer. That doesn't matter. It's about creating new contacts, because when you think about that, when you create that contact, you also have access to their entire network at this point. So those are absolutely fantastic. Networking events, these are wonderful. And I've been seeing a lot more of these networks coming together, especially with like women entrepreneurs and so on, and being able to get onto one of those. And again, great opportunity to meet new people, get new contacts. And there are several people that I know that are a part of one. And what's beautiful is the beauty of sharing and their ability, you go in they're being held virtually at this point, going in and, people offering different ideas to drum up business and so on. So it really, not only do you meet these new people, you can talk about your product, but you can also learn really interesting new ideas and ways to run your business. I really like this one, selling while partnering with other social seller from another brand. You always, of course, you want to make sure that they don't compete with what you're selling. But Kaylee, I apologize. I'm going to put you on the spot here because I know Kaylee was just doing this. And so partnering with, was it Pampered Chef, Kaylee? I can't see you. Sorry.
Oh, yes, it was Pampered Chef.
Okay, thank you. And so being able to offer a couple of products from your brand, offer a couple of products from the other brand, and doing a really fun event around that. So with that, it would be, baking and using your new products, if it was a powdered bread and a spatula, and then being able to provide a couple of cleaning products. So it's like you get your kitchen dirty making something, and here we've got something to clean it. All really beautiful. And what's nice about that is when it's almost the gratification you get when you go to a cooking class and you make the food and you eat it, right? You can go to a beautiful restaurant, but there's something about you doing the thing. And this is what's really great. It's interactive. You have your attendees do something other than maybe just watching or listening. So that's absolutely beautiful. Being able to get them using this stuff, it's really going to up their love for the products, and it will definitely increase the probability of them going out to tell somebody about it. And then, of course, selling as you go. I was telling a few people this. I had gone for a massage before we got started. She's talking to me and I was like, oh yeah, I work for Norwex. And she's like, oh my goodness. And, right away, she's like, can you bring me catalogs? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I was like, I can certainly bring by some catalogs. I can't sell the product, right? And it just made me really realize at that point that it's like, okay, if I were a consultant, I would make sure that I constantly had catalogs on me. I would have a couple of products, and I was telling her at one point about the UPP. And I was like, I would carry little containers or samples of that. So just always having those 3 favorite products and mini catalogs, because you can literally talk Norwex anywhere you go.
Absolutely. And I like to even use it as a tip, leave a Norwex product behind as my tip to my hairdresser or something like that.
Oh, I love that.
And each time she can try something new and she's excited, like, what did you bring me today? So
yes.
It starts just adding to her journey. Yeah.
That's great.
And it's a way when you start thinking about, you doing something like that, where you bring it as a tip. And so if you go for a massage or you get your nails done, pedicure, whatever it is, being able to talk about that and, doing it in a way that it's like, hey guys, no pressure, give this a try. What's, and when you go back, because typically people have their own, specific hairstylist, they've got their nail people, specific massage therapist, chiropractor, whatever it is. Hey, just give this a try. When you go back, hey, did you try that? And have a conversation. It's a really great way to start, again, those new conversations and tapping into somebody else's network.
Love that. So selling approaches, I know many of you have probably experienced, if not all of these, but if you have not, again, pick 1 to 3 that you want to try in time for the holiday season. Some are a given and some are possibly new to you. The most important one that I would say right now is your follow-up. Holiday selling season started in September and everyone is actually shopping now to fully complete whatever names they have on their list before the end of November. And there's many people who actually completed all of their holiday shopping already. So, the follow-up is one that I would say add at least 3 follow-up messages or do three follow-ups a day or every hour you actually do Norwex is essential to growing your business. Direct sales, common objections. Raina, I kind of threw this one in here. Kaylee, you might have seen this before, maybe on another call. But I actually wanted to add this in here because it's important even during the holiday selling season, is that you as a Norwex consultant, there are so many objections that you receive when you reach out and ask, or when you follow up on book, sell, team build. And so I want to just highlight a few of them. Again, we'll make sure Raina and Kaylee has this presentation so they can share them with you. But the most common objections in booking is I don't know enough people to actually host a party. For selling, I can't afford the items. I spent so much online this past year, that's why I can't purchase them. In team building, prospecting someone, I'm too busy right now to add anything else to my life, including a business like Norwex, right? These are very common, and these are gathered through the consultants within Canada for me to share with all of you, which I'm sure you all can resonate. They all resonate. I'm sure you can pick one from each one of the lists here. So with that though, I wanted to come up with together as a sales team, just some words to say and some one-liners that can help you with those objections. So the first one, I'm going to pick one from each. The one that actually works really, really well through personal experience is, let's say someone says to you, you know what, I can't book right now. I can't imagine hosting anything. This is not a good time in my life, right? At the moment. Instead of just taking that as a no, assume that it's just not right. It's not the right time right now or at the moment, is what they said. If we really, really listen and paraphrase what they said, instead you share, absolutely, allow me permission. Allow me permission is the statement. Allow me permission to call you back on this date, which happens to be 2 weeks from the date of your call or your message, to check in if life circumstances change. So allow me permission. When you gracefully ask someone for permission, they often will never say no. So this will continue your communication, your conversation with that person. I want to jump to selling. And I said it kind of earlier when I said to Raina, what are you going to be treating yourself to today? If you use this in any platform or party that you're providing at Norwex, before you do, you know how you do your opening, you've got your middle part of your party, and then you have your closing, you have your own routine going, you either go live, you have your engagement post, you have everything else all planned out. If you do one thing that will add value to your business and your parties, is asking absolutely everybody in your closing, what will you be treating yourself to today? When you say that statement, it tells those that are at the party that you're allowing them permission to actually purchase something, that they deserve it, that they should treat themselves. And it opens up the conversation to potentially finding out, well, I have a budget. I really can't afford what I really want today. That's where you can jump in and go, hey, well, tell me about your budget. I'll be happy to help you find the things that's on your wish list within that budget. And then I can actually get you to host a party so you can earn some free products. And possibly that's one of the products they wanted most, right, on their wish list. So that's in treating yourself. And then the last one is team build. Huge statement. If not for you, then who? When someone says to you, you know what, I don't think this business is for me. I'm kind of an introvert. I don't have any sales experience. I absolutely don't think I'm an entrepreneur type. I don't think this is for me. They've kind of clearly said no, but what you can do instead of receiving that no is say, well, if not for you, then, Sylvia, tell me, who do you know would be interested in potentially being part of this beautiful community of Norwex, where you can earn income, et cetera, right? So allow me permission. What will you be treating yourself to today? And if not for you, then whom? If you leave from this call with anything, leave with those 3 statements for book, sell, team build. Sound good?
That's gold right there. Yep.
That is golden. That's the golden ticket I share with you. And I have experienced them. I've used them, and I've been in the selling industry for many years. And, for whatever reason, I was one of those people who thought I wasn't a great salesperson, but I always had the highest sales. But you know why? I never took no for an answer. Because there's always a reason that you're talking to me and you're standing in front of me. So there's something you want to buy. So let's really talk about how to actually journey the conversation, which is super important. So then with that, I really want to jump in and talk about what sets us apart at Norwex when you are prospecting. And Melissa, do you mind jumping in? Because I have some work being done in our townhouse. So I'll mute and you can share what sets us apart.
Absolutely. I'm just choking over here. Pardon me. Okay. So bricks and mortar, I think this is absolutely fantastic because there are very few direct selling companies that have home offices. Often they are just virtual, and you will see that they've got like little places set up and it's like head office, but it's really just people's homes. And what is absolutely amazing with Norwex is now we not only just have one, but we have two. And pardon me.
Go ahead, Melissa. You know, even people, if I have orders from down in Ontario, they're like, well, if you're in Alberta, it's going to take forever to get there. We're like, no, actually, it's closer to you than it is to me, and your shipping will be super fast. And yeah, so they're always like, oh, wow. And I get lots of feedback that our shipping is amazing. And we have that going for us.
We absolutely do. And, you know, there are large companies. I know several that have, you know, like distribution centers in Canada and the US, but they only have one. And, you know, you are looking, when they're in Alberta, depending on, you know, where they are in the country, it does definitely takes that much longer to get across country. And so the fact that we now have two, and that really will cut down on shipping times is absolutely amazing. Now, what I think I will tell you, knowing kind of compensation plans and how other direct sales companies work, the fact that there's really no investment in starting this business. And, you know, you have the opportunity to, 30 days or 90 days, sell a certain amount and you get that kit for free. That is really unheard of. And then 35% discount and commission on the product is absolutely amazing. Sorry, what's that? Okay. No cost, pardon me, host program. And that is something that I hear very often. It's like, okay, so yes, I am hosting this party and, it's like, this is what's available to the host. And of course, a consultant is concerned that, how much is this going to cost me? Like, I'm starting this business and I want to be going out and start having parties, but how much is this going to cost me to start offering these host reward programs? It is amazing that Norwex covers all of that for you. I love having, your private coaching community. I will tell you, I'm really, maybe amazed isn't the right word. I am heartwarmed to watch, we have head office and we offer training and coaching through head office, but watching so many of our consultants work together and coach together, and they go, cross team, and they really partner. And it's not an overly, it's not this overly competitive thing where it's like, no, that's not my team. I won't do that. It's like everybody is willing to give ideas and work together. It really shows, Debbie's heart is absolutely amazing. And I feel like it is that trickles through the entire organization into the consultants. And, just watching it is absolutely amazing. Now, if any of you have ever owned a small business, you know that credit card fees can actually really add up. And depending on the size of your business, that's not something you really want to be paying for at the start of your business. And the fact that, you have this home office that stands behind you, and you have this business, and it's like you start this business and we do all of that nuisancey stuff behind the scenes that you don't have to worry about, that you sign up and you can start your business immediately. It is one of the best things about this type of industry. And of course, yes, I think we all know that the biggest concern for people is with direct sales is, I am looking to make a little extra money. That said, I also don't want to be spending tons of money and keeping inventory and not able to sell it. That is the beauty of this industry and this company. You do not have to buy inventory. You have a website, you have catalogs, people can shop from there. Is it great to have things on hand to show and to be able to give right away? Absolutely. Is it necessary? Not at all. And, even in large organizations, inventory costs money, right? Whether, depending, we're talking about warehouse, not only are you purchasing the product, but then you're having to pay to keep it in a warehouse and keep the lights on, heat, and so on. So keep in mind that that really is inventory in any which way you look at it, costs money. And competitive rewards, 415 days, tourist reward miles, trip miles. I have to say, could it get any better?
It just keeps giving and giving. And
Right?
like you said, it's so heartwarming. It just pours down and the people are there for you. If you were doing a sideline business on your own, you would never have this kind of support. The resource is so supportive. When you join, you get so much more than just a mob.
And that's exactly it. And I think how beautiful, if anybody has ever started their own small business, the amount of money and the amount of effort that goes in, it is so hard. And the fact that you literally can start your small business in a day and you can start earning money immediately, commission. So it's a beautiful model. And I wish more people would, this is an opportunity, I think, honestly, for everyone to be able to share the beauty of this industry, because as we all know, there are still so many hang-ups about, people have these preconceived notions about what it is, and to be able to educate, it's such an opportunity that we have right now because the market is so big and there's enough room for everybody.
Totally.
Right? Yes. And an ethical and competitive compensation plan. This is so important that you are being rewarded fairly for your effort. It isn't, a 5 or a 10%, 35% is significant. And I think it, from what I see, is very competitive in comparison to other organizations. And you have that option, you had just said it, it's the gift that keeps on giving. You can earn a trip and you can do all of these things. And again, you've got business builder bonus. You are getting additional money for doing the things. You can earn trips. There's several different bonuses that are available. So what sets us apart is that, yes, okay, you're selling this. What sets us apart is our amazing product, period. But it just keeps going on and on, right? There are so many additional things that you can get just for doing your job. And I think that alone is just a beautiful thing. You get to use and sell this amazing product and you get all this additional stuff on the side.
I think I just want to say one thing in regards to our team. I don't know if I think we overlook these bonuses. Like, go look at those bonuses and go for them because they're on the table. Like, it's money on the table. And I admit for a long time, I even ignored those bonuses. That's not for me. I'm not going that way. But like, seriously, it is something that you should all look at, especially those that are at the TC level. Look at what the next levels are and you just keep doing what you're doing. It's not like hard. It's a simple business, like Kathy said at the very beginning. But even if you don't know if you have choice rewards, go check it that. And a trip is achievable, and so are these bonuses. So do not discount them.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
That's so great. I love the reminders here, and this was provided by Tracy Stewart, our VP of Sales for Canada. And the whole idea of sharing this with all of you is so that you're prepared with the conversation with like-minded business individuals, as well as just the everyday consumer who has no idea what we have to offer. So you can use this information and share it and feel proud. We have 4 distribution centers just in North America. It's amazing. We just opened up our second in the US as well, I believe last week. So, there's so much to be proud of, and you're welcome to share all of this. One thing that is so important in being able to share that information that Melissa just wonderfully reviewed with everyone, it's how do you go about offering the opportunity to other people? How do you build that relationship to actually grow your business, earn the bonuses, earn all of the perks? You know, it's all about how you share it, what words you choose. So here's a few things that you can ask a potential team member, new team member, someone who you want to have join your team. You know, maybe they're curious and you've shared a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 things from the slide prior. And then you kind of ask, are you looking for a side gig? Or are you all in? You decide, like, are you wanting it to be like a full-time thing? Or are you wanting it a part-time thing? Whatever hours you have to give, we will celebrate that and work with it. Do you love our products and want everything in the catalog? Because you can earn free products every time, every month. Are you passionate about keeping your home safe from harmful chemicals? Do you have goals to pay off a loan or fund a dream project? I mean, these questions are just ones that you can take and use to find out and to ask and to learn about that potential new team member or members. You know, it's important to really find out what, you know, before they join the Norwex family. You're not going to say, tell me about your why. You're going to ask them more about what questions resonate with what they need that we have at Norwex. So always think about what those open-ended questions look like to really impact having someone join your team. And then, if anything, I invite you, you are all personally invited to just book for November and December. You're personally invited. Canada's waiting. 60% of Canada is waiting for someone to just ask them to host a party. And it'd be one of the 2 parties that they currently host a month or attend in this beautiful industry. So I challenge you, I challenge all of you positively. Raina and Kaylee, I highly encourage you to do this with your teams, is, you know, use that tagline. Reach out to people and say you're invited. Oh, really? What am I invited to? You're invited to a Norwex party. You can either join or you can actually host, you know, and then you tell them all the perks to that. You know, reach out to your past hostesses within the last 6 months. Because of the pandemic, you might even want to go back to the last year. You know, look at even your VIP group, refresh your Frankie list that you have not called within the last 3 months. Engage in conversation about, if not for you, then who, with even our referral link. You know, our host rewards program is beautiful this month. Take advantage of that. You know, you don't want people to miss out on earning free product. Canadians are queen of free. They love and king of free. They love free products. And if we don't tell them about it, they'll never know that it's available to them. So if anything, I just ask you to book and you're invited to do so. So we're going to leave you all with that. Raina, if you want to jump in and share anything additional to what we covered, and then we'll stop our live stream and have a little chat with everyone before we leave.
Absolutely. I just want to wrap it up by saying too, you've provided lots of information here today. Pick your method and your strategy, share that story, take people on the Norwex journey, right? And don't get overwhelmed though. Just pick 3 things. Like you said, to me, that's key. I got my 3 things. Just pick 3 things and go for it, right? And don't be afraid. Those numbers you gave were huge. So thank you both for being here. And that was a great amount of information. And yeah, we are blessed to be part of this business and to have people like you sharing, and the rest of the team as well. So thank you.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you, Raina. We'll stop recording and live streaming, and we'll have a little chat with those who joined us today.